So you've probably already heard a lot of astrologers or even non-astrologers say that this Pisces lunar eclipse or eclipse season is a big deal. And it can also start to sound a bit stereotypical, but the thing is, they're telling the truth. Eclipses are like chapters in our journey, in the story that is our life, and they can indicate where we are being called to grow or release old baggage. So in that description, eclipses are a big deal, and I consider them to be one of the most important transits to pay attention to. If you're going to only pay attention to one kind of transit in astrology, I'd look at the eclipses. So in this video, I want to break down everything you need to know specifically about this Pisces lunar eclipse that we're having on September 17th of 2024, as well as some themes that are going to be playing out during this eclipse season once we get to the Libra solar eclipse on October 2nd in horoscopes for each zodiac sign. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Isabelle, your spiritual rebel friend, and today I want to talk about eclipse season. Like I said in my intro, that took me way too many times to film because I know everyone has a short attention span on YouTube. Eclipses are a big deal, and I would consider them to be the one most important transit to pay attention to. If I was going to only pay attention to one transit, it would be this. And it really is actually the one major transit I pay attention to. I kind of know Mars is in Cancer and Mercury has gone in and out of retrograde, but those can all just show us where we may have subtle blockages, so to say. They're little speed bumps or what are they called? Holes in the concrete while you're driving, potholes in our journey. Whereas eclipses are more like major toll stations or hills or mountains we have to climb or freeways when we change freeways while we're driving. Eclipses are the chapters in our story, and that is why I'm super excited to film today's video, diving into what to know about the eclipse and in the end, what it's inviting you to do. Because I think what I like to use astrology for is self-contemplation. It's very possible that what a lot of astrologers say, that this Pisces eclipse could bring major changes and upgrades and certain things are going to happen because of this eclipse. But in the end, it is an invitation for us to reflect on certain things. So whether or not you think this eclipse is actually affecting you, there is something you can reflect on given that it's present right now. Even if the stars are influencing us or are not, which I frankly don't even think they are. But before I dive into today's video, diving into this Pisces eclipse, one, if you are someone who wants to know exactly in depth even more how this eclipse is going to affect you, if you want to know exactly how it's affecting you as the unique person you are, then book a reading in the link in the description below. 1 hour readings where we dive deep into your astrology and personality type combination and using it to get the things you want in life. And we can talk about the eclipse and how this eclipse is affecting your unique birth chart. Secondly, if you like this interpretation, if you follow a lot of astrologers, if you like getting all the data about events, eclipses, any other transit, all about your birth chart, if you're someone who loves the data, takes in a lot of data, but maybe feels like no matter how much they take in, they don't quite understand fully, and you're somewhat reliant on other people's interpretation maybe, then you should check out my astrology course that I've designed, the Master Astrologer, in the link in the description below, where I walk you through the process on how I became a master astrologer, or at least an astrologer that can interpret the stars for themselves so I don't have to follow anyone else's transits and on top of it, or anyone else's interpretations, and on top of it, I feel confident in my reading abilities. So if you want to become your own astrologer, if you want to learn to read the stars, if you want to have a deeper understanding of astrology, whether that's the zodiac signs, the planets, the houses, this course is for you. I walk you through all the information. We dive deep, but also learn to simplify each of these different aspects that make up astrology. Check it out in the link in the description below. And if you want to get 50% off, that's right, 50% off, not 15, 50. If you want to get half price, comment the words in all caps, Master Astrologer, in the comments below. Back to the video. This eclipse is hitting us hard, and chances are if you're watching this video, you've had some major shift or change happening in your life. whether that is family related, relationships ending or beginning, things falling away, new business deals, something's happening. And I know this eclipse, even for me, has hit me hard, which is very shocking because I don't usually feel like that. And it's led me to question how true astrology is, because I don't think these are all happening by chance. In the span of probably 4 days, I've had a distant, sadly, relative die. I've had a new business deal come through that is going to completely change my life. And I've had my car break down. My sister and I were driving our truck, which, if you don't know, we full-time travel. We live in a trailer. We have a truck that tows said trailer. So basically, our life is reliant on this truck in order to move our home from place to place. It broke down. The transmission went out, and it's now in a mechanic's garage waiting on a new transmission to arrive in the middle of nowhere, Montana. And so now we have left it behind along with our house because we had no trailer to tow it. And I'm living basically with my mom right now, along with my sister, in her trailer. Hence why I'm filming in her truck. This eclipse has been massive. And I think part of it is because, first and foremost, this eclipse is in Pisces to start off with. And I will talk a little bit about the solar eclipse too in Libra. But this lunar eclipse in Pisces is very pivotal. And I think it's affecting us harder because we haven't had an eclipse in Pisces since 2015, I believe. 2015, I think, through 2017. And so what this means is, I think it's wrapping up. It's basically bringing back old themes. And in order to bring back old themes once and for all, it's making them more prevalent than ever before. It's trying to shove them in our face in order to make sure we don't miss the lessons here. So as I looked up on my computer, just to confirm, even though I nailed it, I remembered perfectly, I'm using mooncalendar.astroseek, by the way. I'll link them below because they have really good charts, tables, birth chart, good resources for astrologers if you're wanting to get more info on this. But our last Pisces eclipse was February of 2017. So basically we had a Pisces eclipse portal opened from March of 2015 to February of 2017 in my interpretation. We also had one back in September of 2006 all the way through to 2007. So you can look back to those two time periods to figure out what was going on in your life during that time. So what does that all mean? Whether you're new to astrology and you have no idea what an eclipse is, or you're an advanced astrologer who feels like they already know all of what an eclipse means, I feel that it's very valuable to recap, to remember what we're being called to focus on. First and foremost, an eclipse. We know that eclipses bring a totality or disappearance of either the sun or the moon in science, so to say. But an eclipse in astrology represents a major change. And this change could be related to our emotions. Let's break down and so you can have your own interpretation too. So think of it this way. A solar eclipse is an emphasized new moon. A lunar eclipse is an emphasized full moon. We know that full moons are times of culmination and to reap harvest. Things fall away to make way or room for better things. So new moons are a time for us to start new things. But these are moon transits we're talking about. The sun and moon working together. Our vitality and our emotions. Our ego and our inner child. So, also the sun and moon are two of what are considered our big three. So, thinking of it that way, we can see how eclipses, which are aspects, which are new moons or full moons extremified between, show really are very pivotal moments in our journey between our emotions and our ego, our vitality and our inner child. This is what eclipses represent. To summarize shortly how I interpret eclipses are chapters in the story of our life. They're key pivotal moments where we shift our perception about something in our reality, and that changes how we interact with our emotions / inner child and our ego / vitality. These eclipses help us get to where we want to be, make our journey back to wholeness, and overcome issues of the ego, bring to light issues of the ego, and bring to light issues of the inner child. So in short, I feel like eclipses really are chapters that help us heal, grow, and sometimes they push things in our face. Usually new moons and full moons are times for us where we are either receiving something that we've been trying to manifest or are initiating something that we want to manifest. We're setting new intentions, but eclipses can feel more chaotic. It's like the universe is moving obstacles out of the way and pushing things onto your plate. So it can feel like times where we're more subject to chaos. Hence why in my life right now, I feel very in control of my life most of the time, even in the sense of manifestation, not even so much practical. But recently, I feel like things have hit me out of nowhere. My dad went on a retreat that has completely shifted him. I've lost my home and my trailer, my truck. I'm living with my parents again. I feel alone in the world. It feels like things are hitting me from all angles. And chances are you feel the same. So let me know if that part even resonates for you in the comments below. So eclipses, chapters, culminations, bringing destined events. What does it mean for it to be in Pisces? Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac wheel, and the 12 signs of the zodiac represent really the 12 stages of human development in our lifetime that we can exist through. Aries, very much in the world, spark of life. We develop our awareness for the world around us and experiment. And then Taurus, we're grounding into the earth. I could go through each one, but it would take a long time. Pisces is the highest level of consciousness we can reach in its purest form. Now, granted, there's a modern interpretation, of course, of Pisces. It's soft, it's sensitive, it's empathetic, it's empathic. They're very spiritual, very caring, there for people, unconditionally loving. But in the end, the root of what Pisces is supposed to represent is the final culmination in the hero's journey, so to say, where we realize that before death and in this reality, there is a level of reality we're not realizing, which is the fifth dimension, so to say, energy, vibration, source. This is where we find a heightened level of the human experience by connecting to what is unseen. And this is a concept that we start to experiment with as we get into Sagittarius already. We're starting to wonder, what is the meaning of life? And Pisces finds joy in being, finds satisfaction and fulfillment of our human existence by realizing there's more to us than this reality that we see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Now I know that's a big concept. What does that mean for my life when my boyfriend just broke up with me, or what I should be reflecting on during this eclipse? Should I be reflecting on the fact that I'm source energy? Partially. Pisces in the end represents energy, is the simplest way for me to put it in my interpretation. And so this lunar eclipse in Pisces that is happening on September 17th of 2024 brings to light one last time, so to say, which is not in our lifetime, but one last time for a long time, our relationship with our energy and our emotions. Back in 2015 through 2017, we were probably finding that there's something that crosses our energetic boundary. And the reason I say energetic boundary too is because we have Saturn retrograde in the sign of Pisces, as well as Neptune retrograde, I believe, too, in Pisces. I'll get to that in a minute. But even in this idea of Pisces lunar eclipse, there's a reflection on what makes me feel energetically good. And the law of attraction is truly prevalent in my view, where it's what is happening in my reality and how is that a reflection of my thoughts and my feelings? What vibrational frequency am I putting out into the world, and how is that changing my human experience? If you're not someone who believes in the law of attraction, which I'd find surprising considering you're watching a video on astrology, it seems to go hand in hand. But even if you don't, think about how your expectation and your attitude changes your life. That is truly what this lunar eclipse in Pisces is all about. This is us reflecting on our relationship with our emotions and our thoughts and our frequency. And this is a really huge ending cycle too, because not only is it Pisces, the final sign of the zodiac, but this is a lunar eclipse, which is a heightened full moon. We had our new moon in Virgo on the 2nd of September of 2024. And basically since then, we've been building up energy to this lunar eclipse. Hence why you're feeling it now. Lunar eclipses have a longer effect on us than most new moons and full moons do. As opposed to the usual 7-day shadow period, we have an extended shadow period. So basically from the beginning of September, let's over exaggerate a little bit, beginning of September until October 17th, we are in this eclipse energy. However, on September 17th, we have the lunar eclipse in Pisces, and on October 2nd, we'll have the solar eclipse in Libra. So we'll slowly be transitioning to Libra energy after the full moon in Pisces, lunar eclipse in Pisces peaks. But as far as the lunar eclipse in Pisces, we are having a ending, realization, culmination, receptivity with our emotions and our vibration. Like I said, Saturn is here in the sign of Pisces, and I do think this really influences the idea of energetic boundaries. So again, what I was mentioning, I don't think I finished my point. Look back to look back to 2015 through 2017. I believe I said March of 2015 all the way through February of 2017, and ask yourself, what emotional boundaries did I feel like were being crossed? Okay, so I know my camera is a little bit crooked, but my film studio got momentarily stolen because my sister needed to work with a client in there. So back to the lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse in Pisces is bringing back old themes that we thought we wrapped up from 2015 through 2017 about what emotional boundaries are, what energetic boundaries are, what serves us energetically, how our emotions, thoughts, and feelings and energy are playing a role on our human experience. And we're going, this is actually a bigger factor in my life than I thought. My thoughts create a feeling, my feeling creates a vibration, the vibration emits into the world, and it sends me back whatever I'm putting out. In the simplest sense, this could be thoughts of criticism or thoughts of judgment towards others, or anything that triggers negativity. In a way, this is a cleansing of, just simply put, negativity. This eclipse on September 17th of 2024. But that is only one half of the story. What's interesting about this eclipse is that usually eclipses work in oppositions. So for example, this March and April of 2024, we had a lunar and solar eclipse in Libra and Aries, which is an opposing axis. This is highlighting our codependency and independence, our relationship with passivity and aggression. But instead of having an Aries lunar eclipse right now, we have a Pisces one. This is bringing back old themes of the past that are relevant to our story now in order for us to step in to our highest growth right now, which is Aries. The eclipses often, but not always, go hand in hand with the North and South nodes. So for example, right now, ever since July of 2023, we've had the North node in Aries and South node in Libra. And so when we had our eclipses in the end of March, beginning of April, in Libra and Aries, this brought to light our growth journey, how we need to step into more independence right now. And if you haven't watched my video talking about the North and South node in Libra and Aries, I highly recommend you check that out. I'm going to do an exaggerated movement, so I remember to put the card in. It was an hour-long video, I think, and I covered everything you need to know about this. It's really helpful to know for understanding the eclipses. But overall, until January of 2025, we are growing towards the Aries archetype. We're growing towards independence. And this is a huge theme for our society right now, because we're realizing globally how much our codependence and our need for security is wrapped up in our need to be approved of by other people. And we're breaking that pattern and healing it so we can truly connect one-on-one. Hence the South Node in Libra. So if we had an eclipse in the sign of Aries like we did in April, that is helping us move towards our growth journey. But instead we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces rather than Aries, which is, in my interpretation, saying, look, you do need to move towards independence, and you do need a healthy relationship with connections, with one-on-one connection. But in order to do that, we need to review the past a little more. I know for me, I can simply look at my life between 2015 and 2017. That is when I first moved into an RV to travel full-time with my family. My mom moved us into a trailer, and I, as a result, definitely had to work through a lot of wounds around feeling alone, and also how I made friends. And I can see how this could be playing out for me. This idea of healing my relationship with what friends mean and connection means in tandem with relationships, which is Libra. So to clarify that better, we have a Pisces lunar eclipse that leads into a Libra solar eclipse. So really we have a dynamic between, we need to go to the past and think about our energetic boundaries, our emotional boundaries, and then step into connection. We did have a lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra back at the end of March, and this highlighted any negative patterns we have with connection. Libra, the seventh archetype of the zodiac wheel, the halfway point, represents where we finally stop developing the self and go, how do I connect to another? In its highest expression, Libra is about one-on-one connection through intellect. They are able to be emotionally neutral towards themselves and detached so that they can see someone else fully and they know what words to use to help them feel understood. Libra is the archetype of diplomacy and connection, and so these people tend to be very neutral. However, in the negative, Libra represents the need for approval, because while Libra wants to connect, this can turn into a need to connect for survival. We naturally need people in our lives in order to feel like we are safe to survive. That is what a tribe is. That is what community is. That's what relationships are. We feel like we are supported. And so Libra in the negative expression, or the wounded expression, we could say, represents the need for approval and the need to mask our true selves in order to attain or keep that connection. So back in March of 2024, you probably were recognizing in some area of your life, whether that was your career, with your boss, with your mom, with your partner, that there was some sort of facade you were putting on and it needed to end. And over that 2-week period, you worked towards being more authentic and letting yourself just be unapologetically you. And that is because we had the Libra Aries axis. But instead, this time around, this is a solar eclipse we're going to have in Libra on October 2nd of 2024. And this is going to highlight, look, you did heal your relationship with connection, with the need for approval, the need for one-on-one connection, but it's still a good thing to have it. We don't need to fully get rid of it. So in my interpretation, this Pisces Libra axis is saying, look, it's time to reintegrate in with other people. You don't need to be fully independent, but you do need to set some boundaries for yourself and with others first. You need to have a deeper connection to yourself before we can help you connect with other people. So during the Pisces lunar eclipse on the 17th of September, we can expect to have a lot of realizations about what we want, what we need, and really going deep into our unconscious or having unconscious material come up. This is about reprogramming ourselves, speaking better thoughts to ourselves, understanding ourselves on a deeper level, connecting to our depths, maybe being in solitude in some way, connecting with vibration, and coming back to our purest essence, so that when the solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd comes, we are ready to connect with other people in the purest way possible, like Libra intended. Basically, through feeling so confident in who we are that it no longer needs to be identified with or questioned, and instead we can just see the other. Hopefully, if everyone executes this well, we have better connection than we've ever had in the world, especially with how much I hear people saying marriages are screwed, basically, or dating life sucks. This should be a new beginning for us. However, it's not the end of the story. We won't fully wrap up this chapter of connection until we have the North Node and South Node leave Aries and Libra in January of 2024, and even possibly a little after, because I believe we have one more solar eclipse happening in the sign of Aries in that March or April. But overall, this eclipse season for fall is about us learning our energetic boundaries, getting in touch with our deepest selves, coming back to our purest essence that is vibration, in order to then connect one-on-one with people. When the lunar solar eclipse happens in the sign of Libra, we can expect to have new connections formed. And again, this doesn't have to be romantic. Libra is about connecting with people for the sake of connecting with them. So looking to the house that the lunar and solar eclipse are happening in for you, and specifically the solar eclipse in Libra, which I don't know the degrees of, but I will put on the image here. Hopefully I'll remember of what degree it's going in. That'll tell you where you can be seeing connection, whether that's your 10th house of career, a career business partner, or 7th house, a marriage partner, a committed relationship, your 5th house, a new dating life, your 6th house, a co-worker. It, regardless, is showing and indicating better connection. And if for some reason Libra is your 1st house, if you are a Libra rising, or maybe even a Virgo rising, and perhaps maybe this is happening in an early enough degree of Libra, then maybe you're finishing or cultivating your relationship with yourself. And as a quick side note, Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, and this is affecting the Pisces eclipse a bit more, meaning that we're having unexpected financial change or self-worth changes. Hence why I think a lot of people, including myself, are experiencing some sort of material object being broken down, taken apart, disappearing. This could be a financial downfall, or maybe something good coming through. So now that you know everything that you need to know about this fall 2024 eclipse season, let's dive into horoscopes. For the sake of this video though, and going through 12 different zodiac signs, I will mainly stick to what the two eclipses, the Pisces eclipse interpretation and the Libra eclipse, because I do think, like I said at the very beginning of this video, these eclipses are the most important part of, I think, astrology transits to keep track of. We don't necessarily have to look at other planets. It can be a bit overwhelming, but if you want to go deeper into how every planet's affecting every planet in your chart, then we can book a reading in the link in the description below. I got my film studio back for a few more minutes, so let's see how many horoscopes I can get through without rushing. If you are an Aries sun or rising or north node, that is the preferred interpretation. I like to do sun, rising, north node, but if you're sun, moon, rising, you can also look. If you have a strong Aries placement, Aries horoscope, this eclipse axis is activating your 12th house and your 7th house, the house of the subconscious mind and subconscious fears, as well as your marriages and one-on-one partnerships. Aries, fellow Aries, because I am an Aries, this previous eclipse season that we had back in spring has been really hard for you. I'm sure that you ended some sort of major relationship, contract, agreement, and that you're working towards more independence. I know for me, I ended my 1-year relationship and I have been single since, and I can kind of intuitively see how this is already going to play out for me. But to be more objective about it, this eclipse season now is bringing to light maybe some past themes that are going on back in spring. So you're having some sort of release, becoming more independent, saying, I don't need no man, so to say, or I don't need these connections. This is toxic for me. But now you're realizing, I'm kind of lonely in some ways. I want a connection, or I can't live as a hermit forever. And that is what this eclipse season is here to remind you. But before you can cultivate more connections, you have to focus on your unconscious mind more. So this Pisces lunar eclipse that we're having on the 17th at 25 degrees of Pisces is here to invite you to realize some unconscious patterns you may have, and how these unconscious patterns dictate your actions and dictate how you feel towards life and how that is manifesting your reality. So thinking maybe back to 2015 to 2017 or 2006 to 2007, what fears were coming up for you? What were some primal unconscious fears, or that you maybe became conscious of, that are dictating your life, dictating how you feel? For you, this could be about love. This could be about independence. This could be about what you believe you can earn. This could be what you're worthy of. In the end, these are unconscious beliefs that shape your perception of yourself and the world. And you've maybe gone a long time without seriously contemplating some of these things, or maybe in the last few months recently, as Saturn has been retrograde in the 12th house for you, you're realizing that you have a lot of unconscious beliefs coming up. Your dreams also may be extra potent during this time. You may see a lot of symbolism in your dreams, seeing how you have a lot of unconscious fears, but this is a time for you to dive deep into your mind. Up until we hit the eclipse in Pisces, the lunar eclipse in Pisces, this is a good time for you to spend some time reflecting, which is not to mean you isolate yourself, but you do need to go deep within yourself to identify, what is it I'm thinking? What is it I believe? What is my unconscious trying to say? Which, to go into the unconscious sounds impossible, but we can slowly start to discover our unconscious thoughts. And this is something for you to do during this time, because you're going to realize how it's shaping your reality, and you can release massive baggage during this time and step into a higher vibration and step into better emotions. This is a lunar eclipse, a culmination. And so you can have huge breakthroughs and let go of big beliefs that have been holding you back for almost 10 years now, a little under that, since 2015. There's a final release you get to do with your unconscious fears, your unconscious baggage, letting things go. And what this is going to do is that it's going to open you up to have connections one-on-one unlike ever before. So you're going to have the lunar eclipse in Pisces, which is bringing to light your unconscious baggage, simply put, by spending time in solitude and getting you in right vibration, so that you can then, during the solar eclipse in Libra, have a positive one-on-one connection. This could be a romantic relationship. It could be a business partnership. It could be friendship. Overall, I would lean towards it saying it is something romantic, but that feels like friendship. That is what Libra 7th house is all about for you. It could be a business partnership though. And this could be someone who you know or someone completely new, but this is going to be in alignment with the new beliefs you choose to live by, the vibration you choose to put out into the world. You can experience new connections during this time, and it's probably something more serious because this is Libra in your 7th house of contracts. This is not to say you're going to get married. It could be. I know during last eclipse season, I was convinced that I was going to be married by this eclipse, or I was like, thought it was not going to be surprising, especially because I was in a relationship. Thank God I'm not. But this eclipse could be bringing in a serious partnership for you. Someone who's clearly saying, I want to be your partner. I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover about the horoscope for Aries for this eclipse season, but I don't think I'm missing anything. Let me know in the comments below if you have more questions, and I will create follow-up videos for each of you on your questions about this eclipse season or book a reading. But overall, I do feel like the energy is simple for everyone. For Aries, for you, this is your 12th house and 7th house. Unconscious baggage being released once and for all so that you can have the relationships you want and deserve. And that's not to mean that you won't have the independence you want as well. It means that you can have both. Both is good. If you don't know what that quote is from, Road to El Dorado, if you still don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch that movie. If you are a Taurus sun, moon, or rising or north node, I hate my lighting right now because it's really, really harsh, but can't do anything about it. This eclipse axis is changing something in your community so that you can change your health habits. During last eclipse season in March and April, you may have had some health breakthroughs or health downfall, so to say. Something was happening in your health, and maybe you're realizing how much you worry. For you, Aries is your 12th house. And so when we had the Aries eclipse, you're realizing your unconscious material, your subconscious fears, your beliefs, and releasing them. But instead, this time, we're throwing in an oddball, and you're seeing how your relationship with your community is changing your relationship with your health. So to elaborate on that more, Taurus, I'm trying to just take a breath here because I'm only 2 horoscopes in and already getting tired. Taurus, you may feel like you have a community where you have to be a bit of a people pleaser in some way, or you want a community that is making you feel more fulfilled vibrationally. You want something that's in harmony with your soul. And so this Pisces lunar eclipse could be bringing a ending to that. You may be changing your communities, or you may be experiencing fulfillment in your communities finally, feeling like you finally fit in, or you're living your purpose, because the 11th house is not only the house of community, it's our big dreams and aspirations. So Taurus, you may be experiencing fulfillment in that area of life, and as a result, as finishing this cycle and going, okay, my community and my dreams, they're solid, they're in place. I know what I want now. I know what my purpose is. I know what my community is. Then you can finally focus on your health. Whatever shifts you make in your community during this time is going to help you with being healthier. And this could change your work, your service, or your health habits, your routines. The 6th house is the house of routines, service, health. So any of those 3 areas could be affected. Really, all 3 of those areas are probably going to be affected because it's your day in, day out, what you eat, what you do, what you work on, who you interact with, how you work. So what you do for your community and how you feel this sense of purpose is going to change how you feel balanced and how you connect with others in your day-to-day life. Since this is Libra, this could change your day ins and day outs of your relationship. But overall, interpret it as, is it going to change how neutral and balanced your health habits, your routines, and your service to the world will be. Gemini, sun, moon, rising, and north node. This eclipse cycle of fall of 2024 is changing your career and your relationships, specifically your romance and your dating life, which is kind of an exciting combo in my opinion. But to bring back the past to understand the present/future, this spring of 2024, you were focused more on your sense of purpose, what your big dreams are, your biggest aspirations, what your impact is that you're going to leave on the world, and the impact you're going to leave on your community. So you were probably feeling some new initiation with your community, with what you work on. Maybe you started a new big project. Maybe you joined a humanitarian cause. Maybe you were more integrated with your community and less focused on your dating life. Maybe your dating life was a bit frustrating for you. But now you're going to be looking to your career first to see where you have been lacking energetic boundaries, lacking boundaries in general, lacking emotional fulfillment, and instead finding more time in solitude in your career to identify what fulfills you. And by identifying what fulfills you in your career, by identifying what makes you feel good, what you want to manifest in your career, maybe you're experiencing manifestations in your career during this time, you're going to be able to enter the fall in a new dating life. You're probably going to be experiencing some sort of financial success, honestly, in my interpretation, in your career. And it's going to enable you to have more fun. You're going to be able to go, okay, my purpose and my career, they're good. They're solid. They're set. Now let me just go focus on having fun this September, October, December, all the way through the fall, all the way through the next year. You're going to be able to maybe start dating again. And it's very possible that you're going to meet someone in October of 2024, at the beginning of October, when we have the solar eclipse in Libra, the sign of partnership in your 5th house of dating. You're probably going to meet someone during this time. And this could also, though, be a creative mentor. But overall, I would think that this is going to be a dating life interaction. Someone who's fun, someone who's light, someone who you connect with. And you're going to be able to finally connect with the person that you may have been looking for because you finally feel good and worthy in your career life. So your career is getting settled up during this time in a good way. And as a result, you're going to get to start something new with your dating life or your creative expression. Maybe you're starting a new creative pursuit or passion with someone. Maybe you're collaborating with someone. Overall, there's a connection in a playful way. And this could be dating life or it could be passion. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. This autumn, fall, September, October eclipse portal for you is starting off with having you question your life philosophy and purpose. You may have also some changes in your travels. And my interpretation of this is going to be slightly, or I'm going to try to not keep it biased, but I have 3 different Cancers in my life, one of which is my mom, who I travel with, and she's a huge traveler. And she is 100% realizing during this time of the eclipse, as the eclipse portal is open towards Pisces energy, that, you know what? I kind of feel done with traveling, or at least traveling in the way I have. So if you relate with her story, it's very possible in one interpretation, Cancers, that you are reaching a point where your travels are being culminated. You're reaching the end of a travel cycle. And this is very true for my mom because we started traveling in 2015 when we last had a solar or eclipse, just eclipse in Pisces. So you can also, Cancer, look back to 2015 through 2017 and 2006 to 2007. What were the themes going on in your life then with your sense of purpose, with your life philosophy, your beliefs, and also your travels? Because the 9th house is the house of physical and mental exploration. And this is what's being triggered for you during this time. You're having realizations and culminations. This could mean that you're leaving certain beliefs. If you've been experimenting with a religion, you're deciding on that religion during this time. If you are, I had to check for a second if I was filming. I literally had a minute there where I was like, am I not filming this? If you have been traveling or wanting to travel, you can experience a culmination with that, either starting traveling or ending traveling. Or you could be having a final moment of realizing what your purpose is here on this planet, realizing this is the meaning of life. Very deep, very philosophical. To tie in the past, also again, in the spring of 2024, you are trying to decide what to do with your home life and focusing less on your home life and more on your career. You're probably in a go-getter mode, wanting to make certain dreams happen, get your recognition that you deserve in your career, and you've probably been focused more on your career in a way over the summer, trying to let go of your family life, or at least the idea of what home has stereotypically meant to you. But as you realize your life philosophy, your purpose for being here, and changing your travels, You're going to be able to experience more one-on-one connection in your home life. This could be changing homes, moving homes, or connecting with previous family, whether that is your parents, siblings, or children. I'm going to just film 2 more and call it a day, and then I will get back to the rest of these and make sure that they all go up before the 17th. Leo, if you have a Leo sun, moon, rising, or north node, you are being called towards your intimate relationships during this time, and this is going to change massively some sort of publishings or content creation or communications. What I mean by that will be broken down. First and foremost, look back to 2006, 2007, and also 2015 to 2017, what themes were going on during that time, specifically with the Pisces archetype of energetic boundaries, your relationship with your vibration, what you've been manifesting. And this is your 8th house. So what is your relationship like with unconditional love in your intimate relationships? Have you been too unconditionally loving towards other people? Or maybe you need to be a little bit more. These are themes that are coming back during this time. Also, in spring of 2024, you are probably more focused on your life philosophy, your purpose, and how much you should travel versus stay at home, how much you should have a network in your day-to-day life, and how much you should go find your meaning in life, maybe more in solitude. You're playing the micro and macro scale in your daily movement, so to say. I hope that phrase makes sense because I feel like it does summarize this horoscope for Leo well. The micro versus macro scale of your daily movement. And so you may have moved towards more travels and come into a decision on, I just need to travel more during this time. Or maybe I just need to focus on my purpose more, why I'm here, the meaning of life. But now you're getting to revisit your network, your daily community. You may have let that go in spring of 2024, but now you're revisiting it because we do need connection. We do need a daily community. We do need to have success with our publishings, our writings, our teachings. And that is something you're going to come back to. But before you can, you're recognizing your relationship with intimacy and your relationship with your deepest shadows. You may be doing deep unconscious work during this time or deep shadow healing with your blocks in sexuality and intimacy. You may feel like you are realizing things that have kept you from loving love, loving intimacy, loving connection. The 8th house is the house of intimate connections. And this could mean an inheritance. This could mean a death and rebirth, whether that's literal or metaphorical. And you are being able to, I think, manifest something that you've wanted to manifest. Given that this is Pisces, you may be manifesting a lover, an intimate relationship, or you're experiencing more unconditional love with yourself, which allows you to unconditionally love other people and enjoy intimate relationships more. Overall, you're probably moving towards relationships, towards this Pisces eclipse, or the desire for an intimate connection, a depth of experience. And as a result of seeking depth of experience with others and with yourself, you're going to be experiencing a new beginning in your publishings, your writings, your expression. Libra is your 3rd house, your house of communications and daily life. Something could be changing in your day-to-day life, who you interact with, but also could be changing with your publishings. If you've been waiting for something to publish, if you've been waiting for something to launch, if you've been waiting for something to get off the ground, whether that's something you've taught, like a TED Talk or a teachings or a book, this is the time for it to come through, to start it, to initiate it, for it to come to fruition in some way or be reinitiated. You're being able to put fire into that tank or fuel in that tank. Overall, Leo, this axis for you is helping you finally get to where you want to be with your idea of an intimate relationship and your intimate relationship with yourself, and changing your day in, day out network, as well as what you offer to said network through communications, through writing, through publishing, through teaching. And final one for today, since I'm getting tired of talking, Virgo. If you are a Virgo sun, moon, rising, or north node, can you tell I'm going delirious? This is activating your 7th house and 2nd house. Pisces is your opposite. And so you are experiencing this Pisces eclipse very strongly. I know my dad, who is a Virgo and has a Pisces moon, is extremely feeling this eclipse. He's having a complete change in self-identity and, as a result, a relationship with every single person in his life. Virgo, you are probably experiencing some major changes in your relationships right now, not just with a romantic partner, but every single relationship that you have one-on-one with other people. To back up, you can look back to 2006 and 2007, or 2006 to 2007, and 2015 to 2017 to know what themes are coming back during this time. What was going on in your life, in your relationships during that time? Write these things out. How were you being in your relationships? What were your boundaries in relationships? What was your connection like? Was it fully selfless and lacking self-understanding? Maybe now you're able to interact in your relationships with unconditional love, but integrated with your sense of self. Again, a little bit of bias because my dad is a Virgo, but I do think this is still fairly accurate to say for most Virgos, your 7th house is activated, and this is bringing back themes of your relationships and bringing a finale. This could mean an ending of a relationship. I will be honest. This could be ending friendships, ending partnerships, whether that's business or romantic, but it could also be fruition. It could be you finally having the kinds of relationships you want, having the kind of connection you want, having the interactions you want. But you're also going to be having huge changes in your finances too, which is kind of a double win, which in the end, for all the 12 zodiac signs, this eclipse is a huge win. It's just going to bring a lot of chaos. So Virgo, to back up once again to understand the whole picture, in spring of 2024, you were focused on your intimate relationships, your codependent partnerships, so to say. If you share finances with someone, this was in the spotlight. And you were trying to move away from that and be more self-sufficient, more I am worthy and I don't need anyone. I can take care of myself financially and emotionally. And you've been in that mode for a while, whether you've been succeeding at it or not. But now, wait, did I say that backwards? No, you were moving the other way. Sorry. Reverse that interpretation. You were moving towards bettering your intimate relationships, bettering your financial situation, bettering your codependence. And my mom needs to take the car, so I'm going to wrap this up fast. And you're moving away from being self-sufficient because you felt like that was unhealthy. But now during the Libra solar eclipse that is happening in the sign of Libra in your 2nd house, you're moving back toward self-sufficiency. You're maybe having big financial breakthroughs or new financial beginnings, things that help you be more financially independent and own your self-worth. And on top of it, this is going to be a better thing for your relationship. So if you are in a relationship with someone who you felt codependent on, you're getting to reconnect with them in a positive way from a place of self-worth and also understanding your boundaries. So you're setting the boundaries first so that you can reap the reward of connection and then having self-worth as a result. Libra suns, moons, risings, or north nodes. This eclipse season has you in focus as well as the other mutable signs because we're going to have a solar eclipse in your sign. And last eclipse season, this was on your axis too. You've also just been in the spotlight recently a lot since last July as the north and south node entered your sign. Specifically, the south node entered Libra in July. And this has put you into focus on basically doing a lot of self-identity healing. So you can look back to 2006 and 2007, September of 2006 to March of 2007, or look back to 2015 through 2017 to maybe get an idea of what themes are going to be coming back first. But in the end, this is going to bring you back to a sense of wholeness with your self-identity. You may be changing your self-identity drastically. To jump back to the past, additionally, not only can you look to 2006, 2007, as well as 2015 through 2017, but much more recently in spring of 2024, end of March to beginning of April, you're probably trying to focus on your connections more, cultivating relationships, cultivating your sense of self in your relationships and how you can assert yourself and not be afraid of rejection. You may have noticed people-pleasing tendencies or the habit of trying to shapeshift to be something that other people like. And you moved away from, in a way, being your habitual self and more so pushing yourself into uncomfortable territory in your relationships. And so that was the theme for spring of 2024. It probably left you in a state of being where throughout the summer you've been trying to proactively or a little less proactively be focused on relationships and pushing your boundaries there, so that you pushing your boundaries so you can have better boundaries in your relationships. But this eclipse season, you're starting off with basically having to reflect on your health habits and how that affects your self-identity. So while you've been in a mode of focusing on relationships, this fall eclipse season is bringing you back to your relationship with yourself. And the way it's going to do that is not by showing you a mirror in your relationships, but showing you a mirror by how healthy you're being. The lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 17th of 2024 is happening in your 6th house, your house of health and service and routines. So it's possible that if you're working a 9-to-5 job, that you could experience some sort of change or culmination, whether that's, in an extreme, quitting or your job, or maybe on the other hand, it's a raise in your job. Something could be changing in your job that you clock in, clock out of, the service that you do, or more likely, in my interpretation, something with your health. This could be a positive or a more challenging change, but either way, something could be coming up with your health during this time that is making you realize something about yourself, specifically with your unconscious. Since this is Pisces we're talking about, you may be noticing how you have deep repressed emotions, and this is having an effect on your health. Or you could be noticing thoughts that are triggering feelings that are causing health issues. You may be noticing chronic stress. It is very possible that you are focused on relaxing more during this time, because Pisces is all about learning to be in vibrational harmony, to be in our highest alignment with good, positive feeling. And for you, with it being in your 6th house, you may be taking a practical health approach to this. You may be realizing, I need to detoxify, I need to de-stress, I need to just go on a silent retreat and do nothing. And what this is going to do is going to set you up for massive fulfillment with your sense of self once we have our solar eclipse in your sign on October 2nd, 2024. So this dynamic for you in this eclipse season is all about your relationship with your health and routines and how that affects how you feel about yourself, because maybe you're realizing that your sense of self is not entirely based now on what other people think of you, but a healthy sense of self is rooted in being proud of your actions, proud of what you do, knowing that you're doing what feels good to you in your day in, day out life. This is a realization that could really be setting in for you during this eclipse season from the beginning of September to the middle/end of October of 2024. You're changing some sort of health habit, maybe spending time in solitude, doing things that feel better for your physical body, maybe even changing routines, maybe even dedicating more time to a spiritual practice in your day in, day out life. And as a result, when the solar eclipse in Libra comes on October 2nd, you're going to be able to realize that you have become the person you want to be. You have changed who you are and now are no longer focused on feeling the need, maybe, possibly, for approval or to be passive or to shift to be who other people want you to be, but instead you're being who you want to be and who you are proud of. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and North Node. This eclipse season in fall of 2024, from the beginning of September to mid/end of October of 2024, is activating your 5th and your 12th house. So really quick, before I dive into all of your information and horoscope, look back to September of 2006 to March of 2007, that time gap, and then 2015 through 2017. What were some themes that came up around your dating life or your relationship with having fun? What I mean by that is, do you allow yourself to have fun? What does fun mean to you? What does play mean to you? What does letting loose mean to you? Maybe you express this through your dating life, and maybe you've had some trouble in your dating life. Maybe you came to a conclusion about romance and play back in 2015 through 2017, and you thought you were done with it, but maybe you're feeling those themes come back. The Pisces lunar eclipse happening on the 17th of September is activating your 5th house. And the 5th house has a lot of different themes to it when you read the words, but in the end, it is rooted in the idea of childlike play. And hence why when you hear about the 5th house, it includes words like creative expression, children, and dating, which seem like 3 different categories, but they're all rooted in the idea of what lets me have fun. in more recent history to understand how this fifth house theme plays into your story right now. Let's go back to spring of 2024. This activated your 6th house, 12th house axis, meaning that you're probably realizing you had a lot of unconscious beliefs, unconscious fears that were keeping you from being, living the pattern you want to live in, which is simply put, it's keeping you from living a day in, day out life that you love. You're realizing that you have a lot of blockages that are keeping you unconsciously in a lifestyle that you maybe didn't love. And so you're proactively, in the end, working towards your health, making sure that you're not just blaming it all on your trauma and instead doing the practical work. The solar eclipse in Aries that we had in the beginning of April, which I think was around the 8th of April, made you realize that you need to actually sit down and do the work. So you're probably more focused on changing your routines, changing your health habits, being healthier, making healthier decisions, and trying to stay out of the rut that your brain gets you in. So you're maybe realizing in the end that you don't need to do so much inner work, so to say. You're aware of all your inner working, Scorpio, as you love to dive into the depths of your soul and other souls. But instead, you need to actually just sit down and make yourself some lunch instead of starving yourself. So those are kind of themes that probably came up for you around spring of 2024. You realize you need to practically do the work for yourself to enjoy your life. And that's probably a mode you've been in throughout the summer, going into September. But this has kept you from having the relationship with yourself, with your mind, that you probably need to cultivate. While you were healing the relationship with your mind, maybe you're noticing that you dive too deeply into your mind, or maybe you are bypassing in some way, spiritual bypassing. Now you're realizing that maybe that's something you need to reintegrate, because we all do need a healthy relationship with ourselves, with our mind, with our mental discipline, basically. And the way that you're going to realize this during this time in fall of 2024 is through the light of your romance and play. So the Pisces lunar eclipse that is happening on September 17th is bringing to light themes around your relationship with play so that it can set the stage for you to have the relationship you want with your unconscious mind, which I know sounds kind of weird, but it's basically going to make you shift your unconscious beliefs and start anew. On October 2nd of 2024, you're having the solar eclipse in Libra in your 12th house. We also had one of these solar eclipses in Libra last October. So you can look back to then as well to see maybe what you were doing with your beliefs during this time. But overall, this is about you shifting your beliefs so that you can shift your relationship with yourself and how you perceive the world. Libra is all about perceiving life in neutrality and diplomacy. And as a Scorpio maybe who's a bit mistrusting, you maybe don't love Libra's mentality as much, but you're seeing its value more and more, especially as we've had the eclipses in this sign. So you're going to, during the solar eclipse in Libra, be at a point where you can basically start new with your beliefs. You're going to be reaching this point where you're finally cleaning the slate, establishing new beliefs and saying, I'm going to live in alignment with these. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is first through seeing through the lens that the Pisces lunar eclipse is bringing you to invite you to reflect on, which is through your relationships. So basically Pisces is aiding you in reestablishing beliefs here, because the best way to be able to see things in neutrality is to be having fun and enjoying life and feeling good about your life. So the Pisces lunar eclipse is having you have big culminations with your relationship with fun, play, romance, passion, creative expression. It's possible that some sort of ending is coming related to your dating life or your passions. Maybe you're quitting on a project, or you're quitting on a person, or quitting on dating entirely. Or on the other hand, you are establishing something that feels good here, in the sense that maybe you've been kind of taking a hiatus from your creative expression and your dating life, but now you're having unexpected positivity coming here. Positivity in alignment with your beliefs. Pisces is the mother, so to say, I call it, of the 12th house. And so you kind of have double 12th house Pisces themes going on here, which means unconscious beliefs coming up, focusing on how your thoughts and feelings create your reality. So during September, as we build up to the eclipse on the 17th in the sign of Pisces, you're realizing what thoughts and feelings maybe are either getting in the way of you enjoying and having fun, and also what thoughts and feelings serve you in having fun, and how maybe having fun, taking things lightly, just letting yourself play, creatively express, or just go out on a few dates allows you to be in positive feeling so that you can promote positive beliefs. Overall, this is about you taking things with a grain of salt to lighten the weight on your mind, which as a result is going to shift how you perceive your entire reality, which I know sounds huge, but that's because it is huge for you, Scorpio. So over the next few weeks, as we build up, as we build up to this Pisces lunar eclipse, I invite you to encourage yourself to have fun, get out there, be playful. How light can you make your perception on reality? How much can you focus on just thinking positive feeling thoughts in relevance to your creative expression in your dating life? And how could that, as we get to the solar eclipse in Libra, shift your entire perception of yourself and your reality? And most importantly, how will it shift your relationship with yourself and how you perceive your unconscious mind and how your unconscious mind creates your reality? Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising, or north node, or any strong placement. This eclipse season of 2024 activates your 4th and 11th house. So as a general summary, you can expect a lot of endings, culminations, or receiving first with your home life. This could mean changing homes, moving into a new home, leaving home, or having some sort of very transformative moment with family members, whether that's mother, father, sibling, daughter, son, any family member or relative. And then this is going to set you up to feel more in your purpose and know what your place is in the world. Now, before I dive into that further, let's look back to September of 2006 to March of 2007 and look to 2015 through 2017. What were themes going on then in relevance to your home life? What was going on with your family? Maybe you were changing homes, maybe you were building a home, maybe you were starting a family, maybe you were questioning whether you were going to want a family or what you want your relationship to be with your family. It's possible that you were thinking about the boundaries you need to set with your family during this time. And that is because the lunar eclipse in Pisces, or Pisces energy in general, is your 4th house of home and family. So before also I get into that further, let's bring in the story of spring eclipse season and what the previous recent eclipses were like and how this also plays in. So in spring of 2024, we had a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse in Libra and Aries. This is where the north and south node currently are. So your growth is generally towards romance, play, fun, taking things lightly. And maybe in spring of 2024, at the end of March, you're realizing, I don't need to focus so much on big vision purpose. I don't need to think about the impact I'm going to leave on humanity. I don't need to make a big change. Maybe I just need to have fun. This is something that you've been experimenting with as we had our solar eclipse in Aries in your 5th house of play. Over the summer, this probably set a theme for you to just having fun more and not trying to make such a big impact as the 11th house likes to think about. So you've been in this mode of just have fun, take things light, just be playful. But you're realizing more and more that you do still need to have a sense of purpose. The houses in astrology, after all, do indicate our 12 primary needs as human beings on this earth. How we fulfill those is based on the sign that those houses are in our birth chart. But you're finding that with the 11th house being Libra for you, you're discovering that for you, you do need connections with the outside world in order to live your purpose. And while you've taken a bit of a break from that concept, it's coming back. It's coming back in October for you to live your purpose, have a new beginning in your purpose, and new connections that will help you feel purposeful. But the only way you can get there is through now focusing on your family life. So to summarize that a little bit better, in this recent year, you've been focused on having more play in your life, having more fun, maybe going out and dating more, just taking things light and being playful in order to be fulfilled during this time. But now it's time for you to revisit your sense of purpose and heal that relationship with your sense of purpose and belonging and the impact you're going to leave on the world. And the way you're going to do that is through focusing one more time on your family life. The lunar eclipse in Pisces is bringing to light your relationship and the boundaries you maybe need to set or have set with your family. And so the fourth house really does dictate kind of two different areas of family, which is the place you live, the home, but also your relationship with family members. So either one of these or both of these could be at play for you right now, Sagittarius. During the lunar eclipse in Pisces, as we build up to it on the 17th, you can expect to have some sort of culmination, ending, or receiving with your home and family life. Like I said at the very beginning, this could be changing homes, moving homes, changing the place you live, changing your relationship with your family. And this is also in the sign of Pisces, which is why it has to do mainly, why I say, with setting boundaries. Maybe there's actions you're taking or things happening in your life during this time that align with the boundaries you've set in 2015 through 2017 or in recent months as Saturn has been retrograde in your fourth house in Pisces, about what boundaries you need to set in your family life, in your home life. It could be, I need to change where I live because it's not fulfilling me, or I need to make sure I only see my mom this often because this is what's healthy for me. These are things that are going to be happening right now. And as you change your relationship with your home, this is going to set the stage for you to be able to live in your purpose. So the way I could see this potentially playing out in one example of many for Sagittarius is you're changing the place you live, you're changing homes unexpectedly. It could be that you have to move out, or you're being forced to move out, or a family member's moving and so you have to move with them. And this is going to put you in the place you need to be in order to make the connections you need to live in your purpose. You haven't known recently what exactly you need to live in your purpose. You just know that you've been doing it maybe incorrectly for a little bit, or it's not fulfilling you. And whatever you do with your home life during this time is going to put you in the place you need to be to have a new beginning with your purpose. The Libra solar eclipse is in your 11th house of community and big aspirations. So it could be, the 11th house is a little oftentimes confusing because of these two themes. Some people say you're changing your friend group, and some people say you're starting a big project. The overlap here is you're thinking about the impact you leave on the world. How am I going to basically have a legacy? How am I going to help our globe is the general theme. And so the two interpretations, the two ways this could play out for you is you're inserting yourself in a new community where you're going to feel that you get to be selfless and serve, or you could be in a group still where you're getting to serve some sort of cause. And this could be stereotypical, finding the cure to cancer, or it could be just something small where you feel like you're, in the end, just leaving your unique impact on the world. So during this eclipse season, you can expect to have huge realizations, culminations with your family and home life that help you feel in vibrational alignment, that help you feel truly positive and harmonious and in alignment with your boundaries. And as a result, when we have the solar eclipse on October 2nd in Libra, you're going to be able to, from that place of harmony in your family life, find the community bubble you need or the connections you need in order to live your purpose. And last quick note, this is Libra, hence why I keep saying connections. Maybe you're meeting one person who introduces you to a community. Maybe you're just finding a neutral, diplomatic setting to live your purpose, to share, to help the collective. Either way, you're living your purpose over this next phase of this eclipse. And first, I invite you to reflect on the boundaries you've set with your family, whether that's home or relatives, and how you want to live in alignment with that. Capricorn sun, moon, rising, and north node. This eclipse season of 2024, of fall of 2024, is changing and bringing culminations, endings, or harvest, reaping reward with your communications, publishings, writings, and also shifting your career life. So I can kind of see these themes going hand in hand for you. Oftentimes, the third house, which is the house I'm mentioning of communications and writings, is said to be our daily communications, like our neighbors, the people we say hi to every day, our immediate network. But it also has a lot to do, in the end, it's rooted in the way we speak and what we learn. So this could also do with your writings and publishings, hence why, and for a lot of us, our daily network is built around our career and our routines. The third, sixth, and 10th house often really go hand in hand because our lives are built around our careers. Our habits are built around our careers because of how work dominated our society is and how dominated our lifestyle is by our work oftentimes. Point of me saying that is that because the eclipse season of 2024 is activating your 3rd and 10th house, there could be some sort of big ending and beginning happening with your career in publishings. So before I dive into that further and explain even more, look back to September of 2006 to March of 2007, as well as 2015 through 2017. What was going on with your creative, or not creative, but your network, your daily circle, the people that you see every day, as well as your publishings? Were you working on a book? Were you working on a platform? Were you working on building a network? Were you networking with certain people? Did you realize certain things about social networking? This could be themes that are coming back during this time, and they're coming back to help you feel fulfilled in your career. This 3rd house theme that is happening because the lunar eclipse is in Pisces in your 3rd house is coming back to help you live in alignment with your career. It's doing this by having you reflect on maybe themes that weren't so present for a while, on what do I need from a network, and also how do I express myself and my learnings, so to say, in maybe writing form. So it's hard to say because there's 2 different interpretations of this. This really could be about network, or it could be about something you're publishing or writing or sharing, some sort of knowledge you're teaching, or it could be both. But with the 3rd house being Pisces is all about our relationship with our unconscious and thoughts and feelings and how they create reality. So it could be some sort of spiritual philosophy or learning that you're teaching or wanting to publish that is now experiencing a culmination, some sort of, maybe either you're giving up on a publishing or you're having it finally have the breakthrough that you're wanting. Or this could be about your network, the boundaries that you set, the boundaries that you set with your network, and how this brings you emotional fulfillment. Maybe you can look back to 2000. So let's just go through both interpretations to make this simpler. Maybe you can look back to 2006 to 2007, as well as 2015 through 2017, and you're noticing that you don't feel emotionally fulfilled during those times, or we're having realizations during that time about what fulfillment means to you in your immediate network, with your neighbors, the people you socialize with, the people you interact with on a day in, day out. You're noticing boundaries you need to set there, and you're noticing what makes you truly feel good in this area of life, and how maybe you've had thoughts that were potentially unconscious, potentially not, that changed how you feel towards this network. And this could be a theme that's coming back through for you. This could be through maybe an unexpected network change, a network is falling away, a community circle is falling away, or maybe you're feeling finally fulfillment about, this is what I need from a social circle, a network. I need to be in this kind of place. As an even broader scope on this, the 3rd house is the opposite of the 9th house. The 9th house is all about travels, basically feeling like you can be a wanderer, have no place in the world, whereas the 3rd house feels like, this is my place. This is my little place. This is my home. This is where people know me. And so maybe for you as a Capricorn, with this being in your 3rd house, you're realizing, I just need this place to be my network. This is bringing me fulfillment. I notice that it helps me feel better about my reality, which changes my reality as a result, because when I feel good and think good, I attract more good. On the other interpretation, maybe you're experiencing this more on the publishing end. So you can look back to 2006 to 2007, as well as 2015 through 2017, and you notice that you were trying to write something, create something, publish something, speak something, teach something to do with something you've learned that you want to put out into the world. And maybe you were noticing that you didn't quite have the information or the wisdom from your own experience to share that. Now you're finally getting the missing piece to the puzzle to share that knowledge, to finish that knowledge, to wrap it up, to set it out into the world and publish it officially, or to launch it officially and get a good result in return. Maybe people are energetically being attracted to you from it, or maybe even too, you're getting into vibrational alignment to receive the results you want from this knowledge, whether that's having a bigger community from it, having your book sell a lot, something like that. So either interpretation, you're realizing that something you've learned or the network you want to be around, something about your daily life, it's hard to say both, is reaching a culmination during this time. And it's reaching a culmination, your publishings and your network, to set you on the path towards the career you want. Now, usually your 10th house will go along with your 4th house, which is Aries. So if we went back to spring of 2024, we would see that you're realizing, you know what, maybe I need to take a little bit of a step back in my career. Maybe things aren't working out in my career. I kind of just need to take a break. My connections in my career aren't going so well. Maybe you have a business partner that's hard to work with, and you instead were like, I just need to focus on my family. I just need to focus on my parents, my siblings, my children if I have them, and I need to just set boundaries here so I feel good here and I'm not so reliant on my career. Maybe you're trying to seek an approval in your career and instead you're learning to just be more independent and find fulfillment in your family and being more assertive with your family. And this was probably a theme that was going on throughout your entire summer. Being independent by being with your family or setting boundaries in your family, making more fulfillment, in short, in your family life. And you thought by doing so, you'd finally have the room to figure out what you want in your career. But instead, you need this Piscean energy in your 3rd house to wrap this up. It's going, hey, we need to look back to the past. What was going on in 2015 through 2017 and 2006, 2007? What was going on there with your publishings? Because your publishings and your network are actually playing a big role in your career. So you're going to be having realizations up until September 17th about your publishings, reading, writing, networking. Something's ending, something's coming to a fruition in this area, so that on October 2nd, when we have the solar eclipse in your 10th house, you can have a new beginning in your career. You'll have the clarity and the knowledge for what you need to do in your career to get the recognition you deserve. And maybe now you're also in a place where you don't feel like you need the recognition, but you can just be recognized. You can also look back to the solar eclipse we had last October in 2023 to know maybe some themes that are going to come back. But overall, Capricorn, you're going to be experiencing a success or completion with your network or publishings. And as a result, you'll be in alignment for your career and have a new beginning in your career. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node, any strong Aquarius placement. This fall eclipse season of 2024 is activating your 2nd house and 9th house, which is kind of a cool combo. I feel like somehow it's not one I see often, even though it must be. I'm kind of going delirious at this point for how many horoscopes I filmed and times I've repeated certain sentences because that's just how my brain works. So I'm trying to gather my thoughts here for your horoscope. Where to start? You can expect during this fall eclipse season to have massive breakthroughs with your finances and self-worth. And this is going to change how you feel about the meaning of life and how you travel. So there's a few different interpretations for this because both the 2nd house and the 9th house encompass a very physical side of things, of reality, and also very mental. So the 2nd house is about our finances, but it's also about our self-worth. And the 9th house is about our travels, but also what we feel basically our purpose for being here is. It's kind of similar to the 11th house. The difference is the 11th house is about what makes us feel that we're leaving an impact on the world, and that gives us a sense of purpose. What is our purpose in service of humanity? And the 9th house is about what is our purpose for being here alive on this earth? Like, why were we put here? It's learning deeper about reality in the end. So Aquarius, 2 different interpretations for this in summary that I'll give and go deeper into is you could be having a financial breakthrough that allows you to travel and know how you want to travel, or you could be having a self-worth breakthrough that helps you understand the meaning of life. Those two could be also intermingled. You could have a self-worth breakthrough that allows you to travel. You could have a financial breakthrough that helps you understand the meaning of life as well. And I'll break down that even more in just a second. But first, look back to really quick September of 2006 to March of 2007, and then 2015 through 2017. What was going on in your financial life then? Did you have financial realizations, financial breakthroughs, financial downfalls? Did you have self-worth breakthroughs? Were you working a lot on your self-worth? Were you realizing you have unconscious thoughts that were critical towards yourself, maybe making you feel bad about yourself? Did you have thoughts about how you're supposed to be towards other people, and that was keeping you from embracing the self-worth you deserve or charging the amount you want to charge people for maybe a service you offer? These are themes that were probably coming up for you when we had eclipses in Pisces, and as we have an eclipse happening in the sign of Pisces, a lunar eclipse on the 17th of September, these themes are coming back once and for all to set you on the path towards your fulfillment of your ninth house. Your ninth house in Libra, which is all about finding connection and neutrality in your life through the lens of travel and your sense of purpose. I'll break that down even more in a minute. To take in a little more of the past, now that you've probably reflected for a minute on what themes were happening in 2006, 2007, 2015 through 2017. Also in the spring of 2024, you were moving towards your daily network. You may realize that you don't need to understand what the meaning of life is, why you're here. You may not need to travel away. You don't need to pack up and go fly abroad in order to feel that you're living life to the fullest. Instead, you probably just need to build your network more, have a bit more of a social circle, interact with people in a day in, day out life, feel like you're seen somewhere, feel like you're recognized somewhere, feel like you have a place of belonging in the world. This may have been a mode of living that you were in for a while. You were probably interacting more in a social circle. You may have been staying put and doing more work with your daily network, your community, so to say. And you may have been even focusing on maybe writing a book, publishing something, teaching something, given that the third house is not only our daily network, but it's our communications and learning. It's our daily communications and our learning. A lot of words. So you're in that mode since April of 2024, and you've been good with that. You've been feeling like this is your growth, but there is some healing and fulfillment you need to do with your purpose, because the 12 houses in astrology show us our 12 areas of fulfillment, what we all need. And so you do need to revisit your ninth house and figure out how you want to travel or what the meaning of life really is. But before you can do that, and the only way you're going to get to that realization that you need is through the lens of Pisces in your second house. So somehow for you during this time, maybe you're having something either end unexpectedly, crash, so to say, finalize, or fulfill in your finances or self-worth. So in an extreme, you could be having a huge financial upbringing coming up right now, or a huge financial crash, finances being lost. Which one's happening for you? Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully, either way, you're seeing how this is a reflection of your mindset. Because this is Pisces we're talking about, your second house. This is about how your thoughts create a feeling, which is what you attract for how people are going to treat you. Because basically your wealth is a reflection of your worth. And that is what the second house is all about. So you're seeing during this time how whether you're having a financial lift or financial downfall, how you know what, this is a reflection of how I perceive myself. And so I need to change that. And you're going to be changing that. You're going to be having a huge shift in what you believe you're worthy of. You're going to be changing your thoughts and your feelings. And as a result of changing your thoughts and your feelings about yourself, you're going to be experiencing better financial situations and just better feelings about yourself. You're going to be owning your self-worth. And what this is going to do is put you on the path you need to be on to understand why you're here on this earth and travel a little more, because this is 7th house and 9th house. So this second, not 7th, this second house energy is leading into the 9th house energy of the Libra solar eclipse happening on October 2nd, which for you is going to have you start a new beginning with either travels. Maybe you're booking a trip, maybe you're going somewhere new, maybe you're stepping into the unknown, going somewhere you've never been, or you're understanding a new philosophy. You could be experiencing some sort of unknown. The 9th house in the end encompasses physical and mental exploration of places we've never been. So this could be physical for you. You could be going somewhere you've never been, or you could be mentally going there, experimenting with a new philosophy, a new mindset that helps you understand the meaning of life, why you're here, and helping you feel more purposeful in your day-to-day life. So Aquarius, for you, you can expect, like I said, some sort of financial upbringing, something that in the end is a reflection of your self-worth and the boundaries you've set. So you're setting boundaries in alignment with what you believe you're worthy of. And as a result, you can expect on October 2nd to be finding your sense of purpose here, finding a sense of meaning in life. And it's a new beginning. So you may be doing something new, either learning a new religion or traveling somewhere new. And finally, Pisces, best for last as always. It's like a little, in a way, birthday horoscope in my interpretation, because this is a lunar eclipse in your sign. You're probably having an identity breakthrough or identity crisis, or a little bit of both at the same time. And this is going to change your intimate relationships. Whether you're in a relationship or not, this will apply to you. Before I dive in even further to what that means, let's look back to September 2006 through March of 2007, as well as 2015 through 2017. I've said this 100 times, but every time I hesitate because it takes a lot for my brain to remember. Look back to those two time periods. What was going on with your self-identity during this time? Were you being more independent? Were you ending relationships? Were you just doing your own thing? Were you enjoying your time by yourself? It's possible that these are themes that were coming up during those times because we had eclipses in Pisces in your sign. And so with this lunar eclipse in Pisces that is happening on the 17th of September of 2024, you could be having a huge realization or breakthrough with your self-identity, becoming the person you want to be, changing who you want to be. And it may cause a bit of an identity crisis, given the fact that full moons oftentimes make things that are no longer serving us fall away in order to make room for something new. I just said that, and it quite literally made me think of how this horoscope made me play out for me. Because quite literally, my sister and I were driving her truck that we basically use as our livelihood because it tows our home. And the transmission basically fell away. Maybe it's to make room for a new transmission. So you're doing basically the same thing, but with your self-identity. So this could, as a result, of course, though, change your relationship with other people, because your relationship with yourself dictates how you interact with other people and what kind of people you bring into your reality. Let's rewind a little bit to understand that even more and how this plays out for you in the macro scale. So, Pisces, for you in spring of 2024, you were realizing how maybe you need to be a little less codependent in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you may realize you're financially or emotionally codependent on your partner, and you don't like that. You need to build your own sense of inner foundation and financial foundation. And so, since April of 2024, you may have been in a mode or an intention setting to be more financially stable on your own, as well as building your own self-worth. You can, in the end, stand alone. You have your own foundation, like a house. You have your own structure. Now, you've been probably really good about that. You've probably been an independent woman, Z-Snap, who's been able to stand on their own, or at least you're working towards it, and you're proud of yourself for working towards it. But the thing is, the 12 houses in astrology say that we do have these 12 needs that all need to be fulfilled, which means that while you don't need to be so codependent maybe on your partner financially or emotionally, or if this is, I'll get to an interpretation for Pisces singles in a second, but maybe while you don't need to be codependent on them, you do still need an intimate connection. So if you're a Pisces single and you're not in a relationship, you may have noticed just a pattern in your dating life or with any connection you have that you become codependent on them. In another interpretation, you may be financially dependent on someone and you wanted to be more financially independent, and that's something you've been working towards. But the thing is, Pisces, you do need intimate connection. The 8th house is the house of intimacy, one-on-one connection. It's where we dive deep with people. It's where we let ourselves be a little dependent on them, but not overly. And so during the solar eclipse that we're going to have back in Libra on October 2nd of 2024, you're going to be having a new intimate connection. This could be taking a relationship further with someone, moving in with someone. This could be letting someone support you. But before you can do that in a healthy way, because you realize that you need to do that in a healthy way back in spring of 2024, you need to bring light to your relationship with yourself first, because maybe you are telling all these biased beliefs about who you are, and you have this false self-perception that is keeping you from having the relationships with others that you deserve, whether that be just about your intimate connection with people or how you perceive that you should be or shouldn't be dependent on them. So the Pisces lunar eclipse is coming in as an oddball to this Aries Libra axis to remind you, look at your relationship with yourself, set up a new stage or perception of yourself so that you can really experience what the most healthy, neutral, diplomatic, intimate relationship could be. I do think this really could be two interpretations. It could be either you're letting someone financially support you, whether that's a parent, a grandparent, a partner, and in a neutral way that is aligned with your self-value and self-understanding. Or this could just simply be an intimate connection. The 8th house is the house of intimacy as well as, so to say, codependency. So this could be a financial dependence or just an emotional connection with someone, vulnerability. And so the relationship you establish with yourself, the perception you establish with yourself is going to change how and set the stage for what kind of new beginning you can bring to your intimate relationships. So as a summary for you Pisces, during this, from the beginning of September to October, you can expect to have a new beginning in realizing this is who I want to be, this is who I truly am, no bias, no BS, no other people straying, changing that self-perception. These flies are annoying. And as a result of you changing how you see yourself and who you believe yourself to be, you're going to have the most fulfilling intimate relationship you can manage during this time. And I say during this time because, this might not be the end all be all relationship. Maybe it will be, but you can expect to be having an intimate connection or dependency in a positive way on someone that is rooted in neutrality and diplomacy, not in people pleasing or trying to be someone that you have to be in order to attain that security. You're now building your own foundation built upon who you see yourself to be. Reflect on who you are. Reflect on what makes you who you are. And by doing so, you're going to have the most amazing intimate relationship come into your life on October 2nd, around that time, as we have the solar eclipse in Libra in your sign. Wow, guys, I gotta say, I'm so proud of myself for finally filming a horoscope for all 12 zodiac signs. I know I did one for, I think, the Leo new moon this year, but it is so rare for me to get around to actually sitting down and doing all this because it is a lot to film. There's so much information, and I much prefer to just book readings with people because your unique birth chart really does show you how this is uniquely going to affect you. And if you feel like a horoscope is ever inaccurate, it is possible that, one, I just don't cover every single word of what each zodiac sign and house combination could be, or two, more likely, there's unique aspects in your birth chart that are changing your interpretation. So if you want to learn more about how this eclipse season is going to affect you, book a reading in the link in the description below. But if you want to learn how to be your own astrologer so that you're not so, reliant, so to say, on someone else giving you an accurate interpretation, which we're all human, we make mistakes, we don't get every single piece of data of astrology, I invite you to check out my course, The Master Astrologer, in the link in the description below, where I teach you everything I know about astrology so that you can be your own astrologer who can go, okay, we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces. I just know off the top of the head what that means for me, what to reflect on, and how I can positively set my thoughts in alignment to get what I want. Because in the end, that's what this lunar eclipse is about. Our thoughts create our reality. And so while oftentimes I think a lot of astrologers are trying to help, oftentimes we can give interpretations that give people an unconscious negative prediction for their future, when really in the end I do believe, and hopefully you do too, that you create your reality, whether that's through manifestation or the fact that what you expect to come is how people are going to treat you because your vibe gives you your tribe. So during this eclipse, I invite you all to journal out what thoughts you are having unconsciously, what feelings they create, and how they create your reality. And do this in relevance to the house in which the lunar eclipse in Pisces is happening in for you. And think about what kind of things are going on in the end of March with the Libra lunar eclipse. What were you letting go of? And what would a healthy relationship look like with said thing? So for me, for example, Libra is my 7th house. I was literally releasing a relationship. I ended a relationship, and I'm also going to be journaling or even reflecting on what a healthy relationship looks like, one that is rooted in neutrality and diplomacy and non-dependence on this person. So I invite you to do the same. I will probably write out these journal prompts in the description below or put them on the screen here to share with you guys, because this eclipse season really is a huge pivotal moment for us in our hero's journey ask yourself how you want to be the hero of your story. And on that note, I haven't made this announcement in a long time, so I'm going to add it in here since it's super relevant. I think it's actually really great during eclipse season if you're wanting to be the hero of your story, if you're wanting to take charge of your reality and you want more help doing that. It's very timely to say that if you don't know, Gabby, Robin, and I, who haven't talked on this channel for a while because they've been over killing it on our group membership, Be the Hero Academy, where we have a lifetime's worth of resources for self-development. And it's basically a group coaching program, but it feels individualized. So if you want to join our community where you get access to every single workbook and course we have ever created, which is 25 plus resources, and if you want one-on-one coaching basically without having to have the high ticket price, and if you want to connect with other people who are on a self-development journey, who are like you watching this video going, okay, this eclipse season, I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to be in control of my reality. I'm going to live in clarity. If you want to interact with other people like that, Be the Hero Academy is for you. Check it out. It's in the link in the description below. I cannot wait to see you on there. So 3 things you need to do. Book a reading if you have not yet already and you want to learn more about your horoscope for the eclipse season. 2, if you want to become your own astrologer, join the Master Astrologer in link in the description below, which is hosted on Be the Hero Academy. And 3, join Be the Hero Academy, where you can where you can get a lifetime's worth of resources and get that fly off my screen and be a part of the community where we all connect and share the journey and share daily activities so that you can be the hero of your story, dive deep to understand your thoughts, and create your reality. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, share this video. Please, every share counts. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you're feeling during this eclipse. What are you feeling? And is this accurate? I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. From my heart to yours, namaste.